This week on Storyboard, we are catching up with Saumya Rathor, category lead, Pepsi Cola, PepsiCo India. She's speaking about the Rise Up Baby trilogy, summer plans, new Pepsi logo and much more. We have Raymond Consumer Care CMO Pooja Sehgal to talk about the Kama Sutra brand and how India's sexual wellness category has changed. We have Sachendra Nath, Vice Chairman and Managing Director, YouGrow Capital, speaking about how tech and tech infrastructure is changing the MSME lending landscape in the country. Hello and welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shubhani Gharat. This week on the show, I'm catching up with Saumya Rathor, category lead, Pepsi Cola, PepsiCo India. She's speaking about creating the Rise Up Baby trilogy with Ranveer, Yash and most recently released film with Samantha Ruth Prabhu and its impact on the consumers. PepsiCo also reported a double-digit growth in the beverage unit volume in the Indian market. What has been the contribution of cola in this? How are inflationary pressures expected to persist in 2023 and how is it impacting the marketing plans? Saumya also shares her take on the new Pepsi logo, and is there a big campaign around in the pipeline? Let's find out. Saumya, welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank you for having me here, Shubhani.
Yeah, it's been a good quarter, and right at the start of it, we saw like 2 months ago, you launched Rise Up Baby, first with Ranveer Singh, and now you have onboarded Samantha Ruth Prabhu. Tell us more about the campaign. How has it fared and worked so far for the brand?
I think, Shubhani, it's the 125th year of Pepsi. So it was a very important landmark year for us. And we knew that whatever we had to do from a Pepsi perspective had to really elevate our storytelling. And over the last few years, we've had a great success in the form of swag. But this year, it was really important for us to elevate it to the next level. And our philosophy of Rise Up Baby really talks to this universal human truth that consumers feel. And that truth is all about the fact that consumers feel judged. And I think this is a generation that is constantly being judged, and they're also a generation that judges a lot, right? And I think Pepsi as a brand, which stands for or represents the spirit of youth in a bottle, for us it was really important to talk to that anxiety or talk to that human truth, but talk in a manner which really elevates that for them, right? So just like the Pepsi bubble, we constantly rise up against all odds and against all pressures. So our philosophy for youngsters across India is that rise up against the judgment. The world is going to say everything, and the world will say a lot to you, about you, but you just have to rise up. And I think the stars or the ambassadors that we have on the brand really embody that spirit. Like whether it is Ranveer. Like Ranveer is an actor which has been constantly, he's constantly been spoken about his clothes choices. Yeah. But he's very, very effortlessly himself and very audaciously himself. And even with Yash is a star who comes from a small town in Karnataka. But his stardom really defies the notion of boundaries in India. And even he represents this whole new India, which is all about, you might judge us, you might slaughter us, but we will always rise up against that. Yeah. And the last one is my favorite one, which is the Samantha campaign, because I feel that the boys were having a lot of fun with the campaigns and talking about judgments, but why should women not be at the forefront of it? And I'm a huge believer of the fact that women are judged constantly, right?
All the time, yeah.
All the time, whether it is about when they're getting married or what they're wearing or what time they're coming home, or whether it's a girl's job or a man's job, they're constantly in that spotlight. And that spotlight is a very harsh spotlight, right? And Samantha is a warrior princess, right? And I feel that she has constantly faced a lot in her life, but she has risen up against anything that society has thrown at her.
Yeah, a lot has been spoken about cola versus other soft drinks. So if you can share with us, how does cola fare today in the consumer mind as compared to the other soft drinks, considering many are also opting for healthier choices when it comes to having their beverages?
I think that's a very interesting question. There are two things, and I'm going to answer it in two parts. Is cola an important category? I think it's a very important and a very relevant category. Is it a large category? It's a large category still, right? It's a recruiter category as well. So the first time consumer probably consumes a cold drink, in a high probability is going to be a cola. So when you go to a birthday party, the first cold drink that you'll probably taste would be a cola, right? Yeah. The second part is from a healthy options that you were alluding to. I think as a company, we really believe in positive choices, and we really believe in giving consumers the optionality of choosing whatever their heart wants, right? So if they want something which is fun for them, We have Pepsi, which is full sugar, right? But if they want something that's good for them, or something that's better for them, right? So we have this another solid extension of Pepsi, which is Pepsi Black, which is what we call zero sugar. And in fact, I think if you notice all our campaigns, for the first time, we are actually showing both the products. So we call it the trademark strategy across all the campaigns, whether it's Ranveer, whether it's Yash, or whether it's Samantha. All of them have ended with both those optionalities for consumers.
How does PepsiCo look at Campa Cola's rebirth in the India market?
I think it's a very interesting play, right? Because I think India is a very competitive cola category, right? Most of the brands across the world, there are just 2 of them, right? But in India, is one of the only markets where there are three colas in that space. So now we are having a 4th player, and that 4th player comes with a lot of solid backing. But we'll see how it pans out, right? Right now, the early signs, what I have realized from a consumer perspective is that it's fine. There is nothing that we are stressing about. But yeah, we're going to be cognizant about it, and we're going to make sure that we keep playing our game.
Is it pushing you to tweak your strategy or do something?
Not at all.
Yeah.
For us, it's very important to be consumer centric, and like I said, that for us, it's consumer is the king. So we constantly are making sure that our offering and our choice is something which is in line with what the consumer really wants, and we are telling stories that the consumer really wants to listen to. Our products are also catering to what the consumer is telling us about our product, right? So we are very competition aware, but we are not very competition obsessed.
Saumya, these global macroeconomic pressures, how are they impacting your plans for Pepsi? And how are they pushing you to think differently when it comes to your own marketing?
I think what's important for us is to stay true to what we can really control and what we can't really control, right? So we have a product which has certain materials, and we are constantly trying to make sure that that product goes to consumers in the most efficient manner, and consumers are aware of the positioning of the brand and communication, etc. Right? So we are trying to make sure that products are available at the right price point, at the right channels, and according to what the consumer really wants. Right? But apart from that, I think what we are trying to do is we are a little efficient with the way we are deploying media. And we are very, very careful about how we want to, reach those consumers. So we have a very balanced kind of an approach between both, impact mediums, because those are impact mediums. By impact mediums, I mean the ones that are more expensive. So we have a very balanced,
TV,
like TV. So we have a very balanced approach between what we want to do on TV and what we want to do on digital. And I think that's the way we are sort of controlling our spends.
How do you look at Pepsi's journey so far in the country, and how, according to you, the whole approach in marketing has evolved over the past many years?
I think Pepsi is a quintessential challenger brand, and it's a brand that's constantly been consistently disruptive, right? And I feel that over the last decade or so, we've seen a turnaround of Pepsi, which is something that we're extremely proud of. We've seen Pepsi really, come back from a culture perspective, right? Over the last few years, we've done some iconic disruptive campaigns. We have, consistently had our finger on the pulse of the generation. So if they wanted something from an OTT perspective, we did a Money Heist collaboration. If they wanted something from a technology perspective, we did deepfake. If they were spending time on short video formats, that's what we were doing, right? If they were listening to music, and Pepsi really strongly believes in music and dance, we've created some amazing summer anthems over the last 4 to 5 years. So I think Pepsi has, come back with a massive, massive bang. And I feel that I think this is the era of the challengers. Like, I feel that this is the era where comebacks are happening. And I think Pepsi believes in, being the front runner of that. So we've constantly pushed the boundaries, and I feel really proud of what the brand has really done so far.
And on that note, what's in store for the next few months?
I think it's going to be bigger and better, because we have some fantastic plans. I'm sure you would have seen the packaging reappraisal that's happening across the globe.
Yeah.
So we're going to come back with a massively refreshed visual identity.
Yeah. How do you look at that, actually, the new logo?
I love it. I think it's phenomenal.
It's vintage.
It's retro, It's got Pepsi in front and center.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's retro, but it's got, you know, some modern elements, like the colors are a lot more different and brighter. And I think it's going to stand out on the shelf.
What do you think it will do? How will it change?
Shibani, I feel that our packs are our biggest equity drivers. I feel that consumers, of course, our campaigns are great and consumers relate to it emotionally, but what they see on shelf is the pack. And I couldn't be more excited about this new refresh logo because the packs are going to look a lot more brighter and shinier. So it's the comfort of the same Pepsi, but revamped in a manner which, you know, appeals to the Gen Z consumers.
And of course, there will be a communication around.
Of course, yeah.
There will the new logo.
Yeah, so all of us are now working towards that.
The big campaign is coming up.
Yeah, so that's going to be massive for us. So we're quite excited. But of course, I think what's important for us is to really build on Rise Up Baby and really establish that. So the next few months is all about how do you bring Rise Up Baby in, you know, cultural conversation, because we've done those 3 big thematics. We've got a song out, which has got some amazing number of views. I think 250 million views, which is quite insane for us. But I think now it's all about really embedding it in conversations and embedding it in culture.
All the best for that. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us
today. Thank you so much, Shivani. It was a pleasure.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, we have Raymond Consumer Care CMO Pooja Sehgal to talk about the Kama Sutra brand and how has India